Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, good morning, everyone. And I hope you are all doing well. Okay, so kindly type your name and where you are listening from. Kindly type your name and where you are listening from. All right. So, without wasting much time, so I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so for this week, the market hasn't been given. I think there has been one or two opportunities that the market has been given. But I remember on Tuesday, the market gave an opportunity, according to the way I trade, the market gave an opportunity on GBP USD. Yeah, on GBP USD. And yesterday too, there was a nice opportunity on GBP JPY. So on Tuesday, during the Asian session, the market gave this opportunity that we couldn't take advantage of because of the time that it happened. And on Monday was bank holiday. So on Wednesday too, GBP JPY gave an opportunity, this one. But one thing that happened is what? There was a resistance and the candle also opened with no wick at the bottom. So it made it very difficult to take this trade. But it's really run well. It's run very well. Okay, so yeah, so far those are the opportunities that you've been seeing this week. Those are the opportunities that you've been seeing this week. Okay, so let's see. The week hasn't ended yet. So some of the weeks the markets won't be given enough for much opportunities, like tradable opportunities. So that's what makes trading very difficult. Okay, because waiting for a setups to happen and you are not getting it, you need to wait. That's what makes some people, most of the times, they do things that are not on that are not necessary, or they do unnecessary stuffs, and they will end up losing more than losing their account. Okay, so waiting becomes very difficult. Yesterday, it would have been a nice trade setup. What I was expecting was this candle to even close above it. When the market was about to close, it made an attempt. There was an attempt it made an attempt to close above, but we didn't see something of that. So it would have been the best trade for the month. Okay, it would have been the best trade for the month We are all waiting for this one to the H4 to close above because this is weekly zone. Okay, this is weekly zone, and you were expecting the weekly zone to close above so that you get a nice straight setup bar. You didn't see something like that. So you see, me, one thing about me is what if I miss a trade, if I analyze a trade and maybe I didn't get where price was about to go, like as in I didn't enter the trade, I didn't get into the trade, I become very happy because I understand that I've been able to predict it. But meanwhile, the only problem is I didn't get an entry. Okay, if I don't get an entry, that's fine. I know I'm doing the right thing with time, because those times I wasn't seeing these tradable opportunities. But so if I'm seeing them now, that means I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. You get it? I'm doing the right thing. So when you analyze a trade and the trade goes before you, you don't get the time or you don't get a chance to enter those trades, you need to rejoice or you need to be happy about yourself. You need to be happy because you know that with time you are going to be getting these trade opportunities. You get it? Those times I wasn't seeing this one. So if I'm seeing these opportunities, I'm seeing the market is going to move up and it has moved perfectly, and because of one or two things I didn't get a chance or opportunity to enter, I'm happy, I'm glad about it, because with time I'm going to be taking all these trades. Okay, so don't be sad about it if you miss a trade. This one would have been the best trade ever. GBP JPY, this trade bar. One thing is what we had a weekly resistance over here. This was the problem. You need to always don't say, oh, because this week has moved so it's going to happen. That's a bad distance. Sometimes everything might look perfect but you not get an entry. That's fine. There was this weekly zone over here. Because of this weekly zone, because this is a higher time frame zone, okay, because of this weekly zone, you were expecting the candle to break above. Okay, you were expecting the candle to break above. You were expecting this candle. It's with when this candle was about to close, it was getting close, breaking this one. I was even glad, I was even happy this candle is going to break above to take this trade. Okay, because this same setup happened on US 30 on Tuesday. This same setup happened on US 30 on Tuesday. Okay, this one. So the same setup that happened on GBP JPY that we missed, this same setup happened over here. Okay, there was same setup over here on US 30, and what happened? The market moved perfectly. That was on Tuesday. I think this one too opens. I don't know what's happening this week. All the opportunities the market has been given, it started with no wick, and if the markets also open with no wick, one thing you need to understand is what we are going to be having a top wick, so we need to wait for the pullback before we enter. But this week the market has been leaving us. You get it? It has been leaving us. So this one, so you see, it moves straight to the target. So it was the same thing that happened on what do you call it? It was the same thing that happened on GBP JPY yesterday. It would have been a nice trade setup because GBP JPY too is the pip value is very big. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, that's fine. If you miss the trade, that's fine. So let's move on to do you know how mostly what I do is what I would take records, or I would take accounts of all the trades that I miss during the weekends. I will go back again and rewatch it. Okay, I'll go back again and rewatch it because it's definitely going to happen. So this week the trades that I'm going to be watching is US 30. The trades that I saw playing out, US 30, GBP JPY, and during the Asian session too, I took one trade over here, but this trade moved, but the pip value was very small. The trade didn't even get to the target. Okay, so this one too, there was an opportunity over here, but I was awake by then, so I saw the opportunity and I decided to take it because everything was looking perfect. There was a clean zone over here, so I was expecting price to get to this side, so I took a buy over here at the 30-minute candle, 30-minute time frame. So this is where I took the buy. I took that buy when the candle break above this one. So my stop loss was below the 30-minute candle low, where there was a structure low over here. So the target was also looking, but price moved so price moved over here. Okay, got to 1 to 2 or so, and price decided it didn't get to the target. The pip value is like very small. This is like 17 pips. The pip value is very small, and price decided to come back during the Asian session on Tuesday also. Yeah, so far, during the weekends, these are the trades that I'm going to be having, going to watch it, maybe reanalyze, learn from this trade. Okay, because it's definitely going to happen again. So 3 trades, that's GBP, JPY, US 30, and this is the trade that I'll be learning from. Okay, so let's move and see what's happening, what you are going to be expecting today. Okay, I'm seeing 1 or 2 opportunities. Let's see. So let's check the fundamentals. Let's check the macroeconomic events and see the news that is about to be released. Let's refresh our data. So there's this high impact in this high news over here. Court says Trump does not have the authority to set tariffs. So is it positive news? So this is 7 hours ago. Court says Trump does not have the authority to set tariffs. So a federal court on Wednesday ruled President Trump does not have the authority under economic emergency legislation to impose sweeping global tariffs. Why it matters. The U.S. Court of International those rule could bring the administration trade war to such halt. Okay, then if that is the case, then the dollar is going to be strong because it's all going to prevent the tariffs to be for Trump to be imposing those tariffs. So if that is the case, then the dollar should be strong. So let's check if the calendar and see what's about to be happening. So today is Thursday. Okay, so you are going to be having the CHF news, those Euro bank holidays. Okay, so you don't have any pound interest rate, you don't have any pound high impact news. So during the New York session, you are going to be having unemployment claims, Bank of Governor barely speaks, and GDP. Okay, so the lending session is kind of cool, but you don't have any pound news events. Okay, so it's kind of cool. So let's look at the fundamentals and see. You have seen the fundamental. Let's look at the technical analysis and see what you are expecting it to happen today. All right, so let's clear everything. So on top of my watch list, or let's do analysis on gold first. So with gold, let's move to the higher time frame on gold. I love analysis. I love trading. I really love trading. I'm very passionate about it. So with a monthly time frame, there's no reactional level looking to your left. So you need to stay consistent with your strategy. You get it? So that you know the pros and cons, what works and what does not work. But if you keep on changing totally, I'm not saying sometimes you can't make some changes. Sometimes I do make some changes if I notice that this is what caused, because I have some check box or some things that I check when I lose a trade. I check, did I trade during the news hours? Did I traded on support and resistance levels? Did I follow the direction of the market? Was this time frames in the? These are the things that I check. If I notice that all these checkpoints, everything is on point, and I still lose the trade, then maybe it's just the market condition. But if maybe I disobeyed this one of these rules, then that means what I'm kind of doing the wrong thing. So I have a checkpoint. I have a checkbox that I check. I check all these things. If I notice that I'm not obeying these rules, that means what? There's something wrong with my system. So I do 1 or 2 changes, but I don't change it totally. Okay, sometimes either I'm going to change the pair that I'm trading. So sometimes to the pair that you trade is very, very important. Some of the pairs are not having volume. Some of the pairs are not. So I used to be I discussed this thing with one of my guys. Okay, some of the pairs are not, like, they are not profitable. Your system is going to be right, everything is going to be on point, but because of you are trading the wrong pair. Okay, so the pair that you trade, if you are experiencing maybe multiple losses on one particular pair, think twice and what if it is possible you change, because that pair is not helping you. The same system, okay, if you notice that you obeyed all the things, your rules, you've obeyed all your rules, and yet still you are losing like 4 consecutive times, 5 consecutive times on a row. Think of changing the pair, because there's something wrong with it. Okay, so me, if I lose like multiple times on a pair, I notice that this pair does something, because my system is having a high win rate. If I notice that I obeyed all the things and yet still I lose the trade, that means there's something wrong with the pair. So you have to check your pair too. Okay, the instruments you trade, not only currencies, the instruments you trade to also plays a role in what your profitability. That's what I've noticed about the market. Okay, so last time I was saying something about GBP NZD, GBP JPY, GBP AUD. These pairs are kind of like, sometimes everything will be on point, and these pairs are just going to be, see the way it moves. So I've removed a lot of instruments from my watch list because of the way it's choppiness. Okay, everything will look perfect. So see, everything will look perfect, and this setup will fail. GBP AUD sometimes moves, CAD JPY, all these pairs I've removed it from my watch list because of the nature or how it moves. It's mostly what invalidates my system, so I've removed a lot of them from my watch list. Okay, so the currency, the instruments you trade also plays a major role in your profitability, so you need to pay attention to the instrument. Okay, if you are losing 3 times on a row on the same currency pair or on the same instrument, just think twice and see if it's possible you stop trading that currency pair. Okay, stop trading it, because I know my system, and I know if I obeyed all the things and it's still failing, there's something wrong. Either the pair, there was no more volume on the pair doesn't give more volume because a lot of people are not trading it, so it mostly invalidates my system. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. The pair you trade plays a role in what's your profitability. Okay, so yeah, so let's do our analysis, top down analysis. So let's start with gold, the volatile ones. Okay, so with our top down analysis, moving to the monthly time frame. So as I'm saying, stick to your system, don't be switching system. Okay, I'm good at what I do because of the system. I've stick to one particular thing for a very long time. I've not moved from anywhere, bringing anything that is not unnecessary. So with the weekly time frame, these are the various reactional levels on the weekly time frame. So these are the various reactional levels on the weekly time frame. And as price is coming down, since the candle at this point, since the candle over here hasn't closed, I'm expecting price to what? This level is still valid. Okay, all these levels are valid. So you're expecting those. There is this resistance to, so this one has now become a resistance level. Okay, so gold at the weekly time frames looks like it is in the range. Okay, at the weekly time frame. So let's move to the daily time frame. So with the daily time frame, we are expecting, this is the resistance level. This is the resistance level. So let's move to the H4 time frame. So you see there was a fresh change in structure. So if there was a fresh change in structure, we're expecting price to pull back and continue to the next resistance level. These levels are all invalid. Okay, change, but in a pullback over here, then the trend will continue. Okay, so at this point, the H4, the daily time frame is what? A downtrend. Confirmed. This candle has closed. Confirmed that it's a downtrend. So let's move to the H4 time frame and see if there's going to be opportunity. So what's the daily time frame at this point? The daily time frame is what? A downtrend, right? The trend is very important. The trend is what? A downtrend. And looking at the previous daily candle, the previous daily candle also closed bearish. You get me? The previous daily candle closed bearish. The pattern structure is what? The pattern trend is what? A downtrend. So that's good. Daily is a downtrend. H4. So let's see H4 trend. What is H4 trend saying? what is H4 trend also saying? So H4 trend is also what? A downtrend. So when I see something like this, I'm just looking for a buy. So you can be taking account, you have something called counter trend, but I don't recommend, I don't do those things. Okay, so I mostly love trading with what? The trend. So H4 is what? A downtrend. Daily H4 is a downtrend. Daily 2 is what? A downtrend at this point. So yeah, so good morning, Danny. I hope you are doing well. So what I'm expecting is what? I'm expecting price to come to this side. Okay, so this, if you move to H1 time frame, it might be an impulsive trade. So this is how maybe you can trade against the trend, but I don't recommend that. It's better you trade with a trend than trading against the trend. Okay, so maybe since we know that price might get to this side before it to start bouncing back, sometimes you can be taking some small move over here, but I don't recommend. Okay, I don't recommend. So this is what I'm expecting price to do at the H4 time frame. I will love price. What I will be interested in doing is what? I'm interested in price coming to this level. This is a strong area of interest. This is a strong area of interest. Okay, please, which way is that? So this is gold. I'm analyzing gold USD. So I'm expecting, so there was this key level over here where the daily and H4 is aligned. So I would love price to come to this side. So you see, one thing or one reason why I don't love taking the counter trend is what? Sometimes the support or the resistance can form in the middle of this range and price will continue. Okay, it can form in the middle of this range and price will continue. So let's say maybe you are in a buy, price can just hit you up. Okay, so it is better we wait for price to come to this level. Let's wait patient, let's relax and wait for the sell. That would be better. Okay, since the daily time frame is a downtrend, H4 is a downtrend, so let's wait for a resistance to be created. So the resistance, price can just create a resistance maybe in the middle of the range. It can either come to this side or create it in the middle of what? The range. Okay, it's better we wait. So let's wait. It's better we wait for the resistance to be created. So price can, as I'm saying, price can come to this side and move down, or it can it can create a resistance over here like this. It can create a resistance like this. Okay, it can create a resistance like this. It can create a resistance like this and the trend will continue. So open, close. And so this is what I'm expecting. So what happened over here? So you see, as price broke. So yesterday I was talking about this being a counter trend with my morning, my daily market forecast. I was talking about, because the body of the candle has closed this one. So I was seeing this one as a downtrend, and the buy didn't keep long and price continued. So this is what I'm expecting. So maybe a resistance being created, then we're going for a sell. So let's wait for the sell opportunity. I think that one will be better. Okay, so since price, the only time price is going to be, the sell is going to be invalidated is when price has shifted trend. So at this point, daily is what? A downtrend. H4 is a downtrend on gold. So let's wait patiently for this the sell setup. Okay, let's wait patiently. We shouldn't rush by taking a buy. Buy is going to be a short-term trade, and you might end up losing. So it's better we wait for a sell. Okay, unless maybe you just want to take a short-term scalp. That one I don't recommend, because price can just shift and start selling. Okay, so let's wait for a sell. Okay, so looking at the fundamentals too, we notice that this news release was aligned with with this one. As I'm saying, it's positive. Okay, if they are going to prevent, or maybe they are going to stop Trump from imposing these tariffs, it is positive news, because the tariffs mostly affect the currency. It affects the dollar negatively. Okay, so if they are going to stop Trump from imposing these tariffs, it is positive news. Okay, and looking at the fundamentals too, let's see this ones, let's try and interpret. So US unemployment claims, what they are expecting at 229, 227. Okay, so what does it mean? 229, more people were claiming for unemployment benefits. If more people, that means it's bad for the economy. So if it is bad, that means gold will be moving up. Yeah, that's around 12:30. Yeah, so let you wait for technical analysis to give us the setup before we take the trade. So as I said, the downtrend or the sell still maintains. The only time the sell is going to be invalidated is when the trend has shifted, when the H4 time frame has shifted trend. Then that is when you'll be looking for a buy. But at this point, daily is a downtrend, H4 is a downtrend. So you are either going to, these are the potential levels, these are the levels, area of interest. Okay, this is an area of interest. You are going to be looking for a sell. These are some people call it point of interest or area of interest. So these are the levels that you are interested taking a sell on. Area of interest or price, it can just make a U-turn over here. It can just make a U-turn over here. So any of them, but you are waiting for, you need to wait patiently for this candle to close. So maybe during 9 o'clock, if price comes to this side, or maybe either 9 o'clock or during the New York Stock Exchange session, you might get an opportunity. You will know our faith on what to do on this. But at this point, I'm not having any trade opportunity on gold. At this point, I don't have any trade opportunity on gold. So I'm waiting for price to come to this side before I will look for a sell. When price gets to this side, this is a setup. It doesn't mean I'm going to be taking the trade up front. I have to wait for an entry. So you see, yesterday GBP/JPY gave us a setup, but there was no entry. You get it? You see, there was a setup over here, but there was no entry. So that's what you are expecting it to happen on gold too as well. So let's look at the indices and see US 30, or maybe let's check BTC USD. Yeah, so BTC USD, let me see the daily time frame. So there was a reactional level over here at the daily time frame. Yeah, so even this way, if it creates this resistance over here, let's move to the 30-minute and see. Yeah, so if this one creates this resistance over here, I think there can be a sell opportunity. Okay, so let's wait for this one to create, for this one to form. If this one creates this one, you can take opportunity, you can take advantage of this wick fill on BTC USD. Okay, you can take advantage of this wick fill. There was a wick over here. So if it forms like this, you're having like 33 minutes for this candle to close. If it's closed like this, then we can get a wick fill. But before that, you need to go look for an entry. So at the monthly time frame, there was a reactional level over here at the monthly time frame. Okay, at the monthly time frame, looking at the weekly time frame, with the weekly time frame too, there was another reactional level over here. There was another reactional level here at the weekly time frame. So looking at the daily time frame, so the daily time frame, the trend is a downtrend though. But since this one is a high volatile pair, we are going to be focusing on on the H4 time frame. So there was another reactional level over here. So let's check the trend at the H4 time frame. So the trend at the H4 time frame is a downtrend. Okay, price was making more of, there was higher highs, higher lows, high over here. So the moment it's made higher high and break that I was talking about, you were expecting price to pull back over here. This is where you were expecting price to pull back. Okay, but you can see it. We are seeing that the resistance is kind of forming in the middle of the range. So price is you're expecting price to come here, then the trend will continue. But at this point, what is happening is the market is just turning around at this point. It's just turning around at this point. So it's very, very important. That's what I was saying on gold. So let's wait for the resistance to be created. So in the next 31 minutes, the resistance will be created. If you see a resistance over here, then you can get a wick fill. Okay, if we get the resistance form over here, we can get a wick fill. Okay, but before that we need to what? So the pip value is around 682 pips on BTC. So this one also, this pair is also volatile. So the H1 is what? A downtrend. M32 is what? A downtrend. So how you are going to find an entry is what? After the H1 has closed, we are either going to what? See if there was a closure, bearish candle closure, to confirm that what? The trend is about to continue. Then we take the continuation of the trend. Then we take the continuation of the trend. You get it? So this is what I'll be expecting on BTC. By H4 is going to be our focus time frame. If it's closed like this, then we can take advantage of the wick fill. Okay, so the wick fill, you need to wait for an entry. So the entry will be what? At the H1 or at the M30. So you're having like 30 minutes for the candle to close. So if the focus time frame close bearish, then you'll be looking for such an entry. Okay, you'll be looking for such entry on it. So let's check US32. So US30, there was no setup because price is currently approaching this resistance level. Let's check Nasdaq too. So Nasdaq, they are all in what? All-time high. So if you come to the market and you see price has moved like this, wait for a pullback. Okay, wait for price to give you a discounted price. It has already moved. Okay, you don't have to just jump in. So that's a mistake a lot of people do. So I remember I was discussing this with one of my friends. He was telling me this is the time for you to buy when Bitcoin reached 110 is it 110,000. He was saying, oh, this is the time. Even if he's having money, he would have to even buy more. I told him, nah, that is not how we trade or invest. This is, even as Bitcoin has moved to 110, that is not the best time to buy. Okay, if price has moved to its highest level, that is not, you have missed the move. Okay, if price moved, you have missed the move. That is not the time you have to buy, to trying to say you are rather going to lose. Wait for a discounted price, because we don't buy when price is high, we buy when price is low. So when price is like this, so this is how it moves. If the market moves like this, that is not the time to buy. Those who bought are what? Have started selling because they've gotten what they wanted from the market. So wait for them to sell. If they sell and price comes low, then you jump in. Okay, if you jump in again. So this is when price move high, then you sell. So if you sell, price come down, you buy again. You get it? If you buy, price move up, you sell again. That is how we buy, we trade or invest. But a lot of people don't understand this principle. When price move high, those think that is the time they have to buy. You are wrong. That is not how you invest. Okay, so you see how currently with the Ghana cedis and the dollar, you see how the way the dollar, you see how the Ghana cedi is gaining strength. This is the time you need to buy more of what? The dollars, because you are getting it cheap. The dollar has what? Depreciated in value. Okay, the dollar has depreciated in value. So maybe this is maybe USD GHS. Okay, so this is maybe, if this is the chart, you are seeing something like this. This is the chart. So currently what you are seeing is what? Maybe the dollar, the Ghana cedis and the dollar, before the election, when MPP left power, the dollar was around 17. You get it? I remember the last time I checked, it was 17 point something, and currently it is around 10 point something. Maybe Bank of Ghana rate is even like 9 point something. So if it is like this, okay, if it is like this is the time. As price has moved down, this is the time you need to buy more of the dollars. Okay, even price is coming down, it is not going to take long for it to come to your entry level. So it's like dollar cost average. You start buying more of the dollars. Okay, so if you see it dipping, you buy, because you don't know at this point, you don't know when it is going to start there. You don't know when the dollar is going to appreciate in value. So at this point, this is the time you buy more of the dollars. If it comes to 9, you buy. Okay, if it comes to 9, you buy. So we call it dollar cost average. Okay, you are getting it at a very cheap price. So the moment it starts, okay, so sometimes if you see me entering some position, you see me adding more position, adding more position. When price is retracing, I add more position. When price is retracing, okay, so this is the time you need to buy more of the CDs. But I learned it's going to come down more, so I even withdraw all my dollar reserved yesterday. I withdrew all my dollar reserved, but I think some of the brokers are still having it like 13. If you are withdrawing, they will give it to you at $13 or so. So this is the time you need to be buying more, but you can wait if it falls more, because I'm hearing it's going to go more, because you need to wait. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. So you don't have to buy more now. You need to wait. Maybe if it comes to like 9, 8, 7, then you start buying. You buy more of the dollars and hold, because you are getting it at a very cheap price now. Okay, so that's how it works. So you don't just jump in. If price moves up, then you just jump in. That's not how it works. So at this point, you wait for price to come down so that you get a better price for that. So let's move to GBP JPY. So at this point on GBP JPY, let's do our top-down analysis. With a top-down analysis at the monthly time frame, I do top-down analysis with the monthly time frame. These are various reactional levels. Okay, price is currently approaching this resistance level. Looking at the weekly time frame, weekly time frame, there was this reactional level over here. Okay, at the weekly time frame. So what does the daily time frame tells us? Looking at the daily time frame, price is high. Okay, price is kind of very high. So I'm expecting. So this is what the resistance level. If you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. So this is a resistance level. So looking at the H4 time frame. So the daily time frame trend is what? Also what? An uptrend. Looking at the H4 time frame. So the H4 time frame is also what? An uptrend. So where I'm expecting price to pull back on is what? Price to pull back over here. So trading is very simple. So there was this move over here, and I was searching on how I could have even taken advantage of this move. What happened is what? When you see a huge move like this and you couldn't enter, what you have to do is what? Wait for a pullback. Wait for price to just come down. People selling. It is going to take off again. Okay, so trading is it's not easy, but it's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. So at this point, you just wait for price to just bend. If it pulls back, then you enter. So I'm waiting for price to pull back over here. Okay, so you see we're having this multiple rejectional levels. So at this point, I'm waiting for what? This pullback over here. This is what you are expecting it to happen. You're expecting price to pull back over here. If it gives us a trade, so this same thing has been happening in the past. So remember last time when the market was trending, this one gave us an opportunity. There was an opportunity that the market presented to us. So there was an opportunity over here, and there was an opportunity over here. You get it? So it's the same thing that is happening over here. The first move, you miss it. This one too, we miss it. But price gave an opportunity over here. So it's the same thing. What happened over here is the same thing that I'm expecting. I'm expecting price to just come down. Price to come down over here. Then I would look for a buy again. Very simple. Okay. So at this point, I'm not interested in the sell. This is just a short-term sell. Okay. So this is just because when it comes to counter trend, you are not guaranteed on if price is just going to turn around over here. So you just have to be patient with the counter trend against maybe your focus time frame. So my focus time frame is the H4 time frame. That's my focus time frame. That's my bread and butter time frame. Okay, that's what works for me. So if you focus on H1 is going to be your focus time frame. By my focus time frame, where I mostly look for trend, I look for trend and how the market is behaving. I mostly watch it at the week H4 time frame. Okay, so I'm waiting for price to what come to this level. When it comes to this level, then I'll be looking for what a buy. But it can happen, it can just turn in the middle of the range. So if you will notice this one too, so the reason, let me show you the reason I'm saying counter trend is very bad. This one, you're expecting price to come to this side, then we take a buy, but you see it just made a U-turn over here and it take a buy. So that's where most people use Fibonacci levels. Okay, they will pull up their Fibonacci to measure the Fib retracement level, but Fibonacci, they are not important to me. I don't use them. Okay, so price can retrace, but these are these are my reliable levels. So it's like 78.6 Fibonacci level. These levels are my reliable levels. So I'm expecting price to come to this level, then I'll take the continuation of the trend. That's what I'm expecting it to happen. Okay, on GBP JPY. So even though we missed this move yesterday, but it will still come back again and we take advantage of the next move. So let's move to Euro NZD. So we are having Euro bank holiday today. Okay, so that means what is going to happen is what the spread is going to be very high on this currency pair. Okay, so this one has even started moving. It has already started moving. So let's look at the monthly time frame. So with the monthly time frame on Euro NZD, so there was this reactional level over here. There's another reactional level. So looking at the weekly time frame, price is currently approaching this higher time frame reactional levels. Okay, price is currently approaching this higher time frame reactional level. So looking at the daily time frame, these are the various reactional levels at the daily time frame. So looking at the H4 time frame, so the daily time frame trend is what? The daily time frame trend is a downtrend. H4 time frame trend is also what? A downtrend. But currently, I was expecting maybe price to just rest over here. Then we take the continuation of the trend. Okay, price to continue. So as I'm saying, if you see a massive move and you miss out, just relax. Price is just going to turn around to take the continuation of the trend. So when you see something of that sort, just relax and wait for price to just do whatever it will do. So at this point, I'm waiting for price to what? Just come over here, then we take the continuation of the trend. Okay, so it has already started. Okay, it has already started. But even if this one creates this resistance over here, the sell is going to be a short term. Like, it's not going to be massive like that. Okay, if you move to the lower time frame, the range is very small. Okay, the range is very small. This is like 3 pips. Is it? Yeah, 3 pips. It's not enough. Yeah, on Euro NZD. So the pullback has already started. So we just don't interested. Yeah, so the next one is USD CHF. Okay, so USD CHF, this is what I'm also expecting. I'm also expecting a pullback. Okay, so looking at the monthly time frame on USD CHF, so I'll be having close eye on GBP JPY and USD CHF. So with USD CHF, there's this monthly reactional level. So looking left, there's no traffic over here. So looking at the weekly time frame, so you see sometimes it becomes confusing when you are plotting out these levels, trying to identify the valid level. So change it to a line chart. So if you change it to a line chart, there will be a clarity on the various levels. Okay, there will be a clarity on the various levels. So there's another reactional level. So the candle hasn't closed, so this one becomes invalid. So there's another reactional level over here. So let's move to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, price is currently what? The daily time frame is a downtrend though, but price is currently approaching this reactional level. Price is currently approaching this reactional level. So looking at the H4 time frame, so perfect. So this is what you are expecting on the H4 time frame. Okay, price is currently price shifted trend. Okay, this is a shift in trend. Price moved. This one happened during the Asian session, right? Yeah, it happened during the Asian session. USD CHF last year used to be moving very well, but this year we are not seeing those things again. It's not moving as in what is expected of these days. So at this point, I'm waiting for price to just pull back over here. Okay, it can either pull back on here or in the middle of this is a range. These levels are range. So these are the levels that I'm expecting price to come. Okay, so if price come on this level, pulls back on this level as it is doing now, if I see a support forming, okay, if I see a support forming over here, if I see a support forming over here, if I see a support forming over here, which I believe is going to happen, then what? If I see a support forming like this, then I will go in for what? I'll be looking for a buy. So that's what I'm expecting on USD CHF today. Okay, that's what I'm expecting. This is just a range. Okay, all these levels are range. So looking at the lower time frames, yeah, so it's better you wait for price to close, maybe. So this one might happen around the New York Stock Exchange session. Okay, it might happen during the New York Stock Exchange session. So those are the times that we are expecting this one to play out. Okay, yeah, so on top, let me move this one to top. So I'm expecting GBP JPY USD CHF. So by the end of New York Stock Exchange session, one of these ones will play out. Okay, after the news has been released. So 9 o'clock, I'm not going to take action on this one. I'm not going to take action. So maybe we are going to check out on GoTo as well. Yeah, so you see the candle is closing on BTC USD as I said, but the zone, yeah, BTC USD, but the zone, let me check the zone. So if it's closed like this in the next, yeah, so this one will be perfect. If this one close like this, so it's like 1 to 3 at the H4 time frame. So let's wait for this one to, if this one gives the support resistance, there can be what, a continuation of the trend to the side on BTC USD. Let's hope it's not going to move fast. So the H1 has shifted trend very well. H1 M30, they have shifted trend towards a downtrend. Yeah, so BTC USD, if it creates that resistance in the next 12 minutes, you can get the continuation of the trend to the daily time frame. So this one will be like a wick fill. Okay, it's going to be like a wick fill. Then we expect the continuation of the trend to this side in the next 12 minutes. In the next okay, so let's move to the next one. So USD card, let's check USD card. Yeah, so USD card is still, so it will be better with USD card. It will be better. The best area to be taking a sell is when price has broken out, pull back, then we look for the continuation of the trend. All these levels are range. All these levels are range. Okay, let me check up on GBP card. This one too is one of my favorite pairs. So GBP card is also in a range at this point, so there's no enough range that you can be taking a trade in. So let's check out on USD card. let's move to Euro card. I think the card pairs also, one from my observation, the card pairs also move very, very well. With the card pairs, it moves very well. So with the monthly time frame, you had, there was this reactional level over here at the monthly time frame. At the monthly time frame, at the weekly time frame, so these are the various reactional level at the weekly time frame. There was another reactional level over here. So looking at the daily time frame, we're expecting price to pull back on these levels. Then we take the continuation of the trend. So looking at the H4 time frame, so the daily time frame is a downtrend, right? And the H4 time frame too is also a downtrend. So we're expecting price to what? To pull back as it is doing now. Okay, price to pull back on this level. Price to pull back on this level, or price to pull back on this level. So these are all range, but currently the range is very small. Okay, so I will not love taking a trade in this small range. It's not even up to 2 pips. It's very small, so I will not love taking trade in this. Okay, so I was expecting price to maybe break out. There was a bigger range over here. So price breaking out, pulling back, then I'll take the continuation of the trend to the side. That's what I would love seeing. Okay, so that's it on Euro card. So let's check on USD card. So as I'm saying, with USD card, what I'm expecting, what I want to be seeing is what? Price breaking out from all this consolidating or all this ranging phase of the market. Then I'll take the continuation of the trend to the side. Okay, that's what I'm expecting it to happen. I want price to break out from all this range, then I'll take the continuation of the trend. Okay, yeah, so GBP USD 2, yeah, with that one too, we're expecting a pullback in the next 1 hour. We're expecting price to pull back on this zone. So like what happened over here, we're expecting a pullback. If price pulls back over here, you will move to the lower time frames and wait for a shift in trend. Okay, so that's what I'm also expecting on. So this one looks promising on GBP USD. So let me bring it on top. So price, the market is like in a pullback phase. Most of them, you are seeing a lot of opportunities. Most on. So GBP USD, GBP card, USD CHF, yeah. So they are all looking good. They're all looking good. So let's check out on BTC USD what's happening over there. Yeah, so it's kind of giving the vibe. So it's like 8 minutes for it to close. It's kind of giving the vibe. Yeah, so let's look at the 30 minutes. Yeah, so if price break above this one, we can get a continuation of the trend to this side. Technically, okay, technically, so let's wait for the candle to close. So you see the resistance H1. If you look at the H1 trend, price just made high, lows, high. Okay, broke the trend, shifted the trend towards a downtrend, and post it in my group. So those who trade Bitcoin can just have a close eye. So you have like 6 minutes for it to close. So if it's closed and it breaks the high of this one, so I don't even know the pip, how to calculate let me check the pip value. Is it 538 pips or what? I don't know how to do it since I've not traded it before. But the focus time frame is what? Yeah, so the H4 is looking good. So what I'm expecting is what? This wick to get fill. I'm expecting this wick fill. Okay. I'm expecting this wick fill. A wick fill. So like 5 minutes. So I'll monitor it on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah. So it's looking good. If price starts breaking the high of this one, then you can get a continuation. Yeah, you can get a continuation of the trend. Yeah, so let's wait. You're having like 4 minutes for the candle to close. So when it closes, I'll just waiting for it to close. You're having like 4 minutes for it to close. Let's see how it closes. So if it closes, I'll show you how you'll be able to enter. You're having like 4 minutes for it to close. So the entry will be coming from the M30. Yeah. Blending with M15. Blending it with M15. Yeah, so it will be like a wick fill. It's going to be like a wick fill. It's going to be like a wick fill. Yeah. This wick, we're expecting it to get filled. So you have like 3 minutes. So we're having like 2 minutes for the candle to close. Let me check the daily time frame. Yeah, so the previous daily time frame too was a bearish candle. The previous daily time frame was a bearish candle, so we're expecting a continuation of the trend. So it was the same thing that happened over here. You see, with this one, the reason we couldn't get a trade was the candle closed dodgy. So mostly it became very difficult for you to decide when a candle closed like that. So that's why we couldn't enter this one. So when it closed dodgy, you need to wait for candle to close. Okay, you need to wait for maybe a pin, something like a pin bar, or maybe candle like this. Then you enter. then you enter, then you take the continuation of the trend. Yeah, so this one is kind of setting up. BTC USD is kind of set. I don't know the pip value of this one. So if it breaks, if it's closed, then you see what to do. Is the pip value like 266? Wow, it has even started taking off. It shouldn't close with no wick. It should close with a wick. So you're having like few seconds. Yeah, you should leave a wick. So if it pulls back, let me check the M15. Yeah. So if it pulls back, yeah, so almost close. Yeah, so it has closed. So at this point, the H4 is confirmed. So if it flips, okay, it will be a 9 sell. If it breaks the high of this one, I'll be rooting for a sell. So now this entry is not yet ready, okay, but if it breaks the high, yeah, if it breaks the high of this one, I'm rooting for a sell on this pair, on BTC USD, for the wick to get filled. So this way, so the stop loss, yeah, so I'm going to use the previous H4 as a stop loss because that one is below the level. So H1 is a downtrend, M30 trend 2 is a downtrend, so it's looking good. So this will be, so if it breaks the high of this one, then it can go a sell. So this is BTC USD. Okay, yeah. So if it breaks the high, so it's going to align with the H1. Okay, it's going to align with, so I hope you guys are seeing it. So I hope you people are seeing it. So that's what's, yeah, so if it breaks the high, I'm expecting it to continue. So it's left too small for it to break for the confirmation. Yeah, so it has broken. So this is the point the sell will be taking. Okay, this is the point the sell will be taking. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So I entered small position. So this is my first time taking a trade on BTC USD. Yeah, so I'm in profits. But the pip value. So I'm in profits now. So this will be my target. This will be my target. I'm expecting the wick fill. I'm expecting this wick fill. So this will be my target. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, baby. Wow. Pumping volume. Wow. Damn. Wow. Hey, the thing is just pump and leave a wick. It will pump and leave a wick, So I'm in profits now. Wow. It just retracing. Is that how the thing moves? It's been doing back and forth. So if you watch the M5 time frame, is it a broker or what? It's like the broker. So it moves small and just retrace. It moved like 11 pips and started retracing. Wow, the whole move is retracing. Damn, the whole move has started retracing. So let's see how it goes. BTC USD. Liquidity sweep. What does it mean? Just a loss. A loss like how? What's liquidity sweep? You people and your terminologies. So okay, my time is up. So the thing has retraced, but you're expecting a continuation of the trend to the side. So looking at the 15-minute time frame, yeah, so they are all looking good. The structure is looking good. H1 is looking good. M30 is looking good. So let's see how it goes. Someone is saying liquidity sweep. So maybe they will sweep our they will sweep my stop. Let's see. Liquidity sweep. Liquidity sweep. So this is my first time taking a trade on BTC USD, because I've been observing it, and most of the times it respects the way I take a trade. So let's see how it works. Let's see. So have you deleted a message? Okay. So GBP USD. Okay, the pullback is happening. So with this one too, the pullback is happening on GBP JPY. The pullback is happening USD CHF. So these three pairs, GBP USD, GBP JPY, USD CHF, are the ones that I'll be having a close eye on them. Let me check on gold too. Yeah, so gold too is kind of playing out. Just this thing just made a pullback. Okay, guys, you call it a day over here. Yeah, so I'm still in the position. This will be my stop. This will be my exit level. Okay, my time is up. My time is up. All right, so see you all guys same time on Monday. Bye bye.